Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unraveling one of the most fascinating mysteries in modern sports and business. We're talking about the Royal Challengers Bengaluru, or RCB for short. But trust me, this isn't just a cricket story. It is a literal masterclass in human psychology and modern branding. So here's the central question that's been baffling sports management experts for years. How in the world do you build a massive, incredibly valuable brand by consistently losing on the field? I mean, how can a team completely fail to capture the ultimate prize for nearly 2 decades, yet simultaneously win absolutely massively in the business and cultural landscape? Okay, let's dive into this. Because for 17 long years, RCB fans suffered. Year after year, season after season, the passionate supporters of this Bangalore franchise watched their team come so incredibly close, only to fall short. 0 IPL trophies. Now, in a typical results-driven sporting culture, a 17-year championship drought would mean empty stadiums, tanking merchandise sales, and a totally apathetic fan base. But that's exactly the opposite of what happened here. No way, right? Despite 0 trophies during that agonizing stretch, RCB's franchise valuation absolutely skyrocketed past the $100 million mark. Their stadium perpetually sold out. Fans were willingly, happily even, paying premium ticket prices that were sometimes 30 to 40% higher than what other franchises were charging. To put that into perspective, they are actually the only IPL team to secure multiple international sponsors, landing massive deals with global giants like Puma and Qatar Airways. Section 1. Building a lifestyle brand. To really get this, we have to rewind the timeline a bit. Back in 2008, the original owner, Vijay Mallya, deliberately positioned RCB not just as a cricket team, but as this highly glamorous, aspirational lifestyle brand. From day one, they brought in vibrant, larger-than-life personalities. We're talking players like Virat Kohli, who's the ultimate fitness and fashion icon, Chris Gayle, literally known as the universe boss, and the endlessly entertaining A.B. de Villiers. These guys weren't just athletes, they were cultural icons that an incredibly diverse, cosmopolitan city like Bangalore could totally adopt as its own. Now, what's really interesting here is how they completely solved a massive fundamental business problem in cricket. The IPL season? It only lasts for 2 months. For the remaining 10 months of the year, most teams essentially just vanish. But not RCB. They created year-round revenue streams and physical touchpoints to keep their fans constantly engaged. It's a 365-day loop. They opened the trendy RCB Barn Cafe in Bengaluru as a permanent hangout spot. They launched the Hustle by RCB fitness platform, Dash Plus premium cocktail mixes, and, get this, even plant-based meat alternatives to appeal to their progressive demographic. They gave fans a way to live and breathe the brand every single day of the year. On top of all that, RCB basically treated itself like a full-fledged media company. They understood that you build deep loyalty by humanizing the players through dedicated content properties like their annual RCB Unbox events, RCB Bold Diaries for that gritty behind-the-scenes access, and a really funny comedic talk show called RCB Insider. Fans formed genuine emotional bonds with the players as actual people. And they took this so seriously that by 2023, they secured a dedicated Viacom 18 media distribution deal just for their original content. Section 2. The Psychology of Loyalty. So, to truly understand this specific fan base, we need to talk about a psychological framework called identity fusion theory. Traditional theories usually suggest that people kind of just lose their individual identity when they join a big crowd, but identity fusion theory, it proposes something way more powerful. It says that personal and social identities perfectly merge together. It creates this visceral sense of oneness. RCB fans formed incredibly intense relational ties with each other in the stadium and deep collective ties to the team's overarching culture. Basically, the team's identity became indistinguishable from their own personal identity. Think about a community you belong to where an attack on them literally feels like a direct attack on you. That is identity fusion. Let's contrast this for a second so you can see why it's absolutely crucial. Traditional social identity theory explains your basic group norms. It explains this concept called basking in reflected glory, or burging, where fair-weather fans suddenly wear team colors only after a big win just to boost their own self-esteem. But identity fusion theory? That explains the extreme, self-sacrificial loyalty we see in RCB fans. Because their identity is so entirely fused with the team, they are completely willing to endure immense emotional and financial costs to support their group, even and especially when they are losing. And this quote brilliantly illustrates the point. Dr. Edward Hurt, who is an absolute expert in the psychology of sports fanship, notes people who are really fans despise fair-weather fans. For the real fans, the idea I found is they really do suffer when their team loses. So here is the kicker. For true RCB fans, this shared suffering actually became a badge of honor. Enduring all that heartbreak, it was proof of their legitimacy. It gave them a profound way to commiserate and form lifelong emotional bonds with one another. And RCB management actively nurtured this highly fused identity. They didn't just call their supporters fans, they elevated them, giving them the title of the 12th man, and even officially retiring jersey number 12 in their honor. They also rallied this fused community around some really meaningful societal causes. They wore green jerseys for environmental awareness and blue jerseys to honor frontline workers during the pandemic. This completely solidified the feeling that being an RCB fan meant being part of something so much bigger than just a cricket game. Section 3. The dark side of fandom. Now, we have to look at the nail-biting match on May 3, 2025, at Chinnaswamy Stadium. RCB faced their arch-nemesis, the Chennai Super Kings, or CSK. And wow, it was a tense, high-octane clash. RCB batted first, posting a huge 213 for 5, propelled by Romario Shepherd's 53. CSK chased hard, anchored by Ayush Mahatre's incredible 94. It literally came down to the absolute wire. CSK needed 6 runs off the final 3 balls, but RCB held on, winning by a mere 2 runs. While the passion that night was undeniable, the post-match reaction crossed some significant boundaries. 17 years of pent-up frustration boiled over into widespread heckling, public abuses, and physical fights that actually caused massive traffic blocks outside the stadium. Shockingly, younger girls and women supporting the rival's side reported feeling unsafe in public. Additionally, some fans wore these black and white striped prisoner jerseys with 2016-17 printed on them. This was a highly controversial stunt, directly mocking CSK's past 2-year ban related to a betting scandal. While disturbing, sports psychologists and analysts note this isn't just an isolated, localized issue. Sports analyst Jared Kimber actually likened RCB's intense fan base to the New York Knicks, a massively popular team that, well, doesn't often win. This raw, tribal behavior is a universal psychological phenomenon seen across global sports. Whether it's post-match physical fights in Canada's NHL, the deep and historically violent street rivalries between Manchester United and Manchester City in the English Premier League, or South American football matches like Argentina versus Brazil, literally being delayed due to bloody crowd chaos. Extreme identity fusion can, unfortunately, manifest as toxic intergroup hostility anywhere in the world. Section 4. From Hope to Possession. For years, the rallying cry of the RCB faithful was "E Sala Cup Namde," which translates from Kannada into this hopeful, almost self-deprecating meme meaning, "This year, the cup will be ours." But the very moment they finally secured that historic 2025 title, the chant fundamentally transformed. It changed to "E Sala Cup Namdu." This year, the cup is ours. It was this absolutely profound shift from a meme of hopeful collective suffering into a powerful statement of proud possession. So, we've seen how a team built a $100 million empire without a trophy, we've seen how they hacked the psychology of identity fusion, and we've explored the intense highs and the dark lows of absolute fanaticism. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Does a brand actually need to win to command our deepest loyalty, or is shared suffering ultimately the most unbreakable bond of all? Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and keep asking the big questions. Well,